I actually didn't see this coming, but an article was posted earlier today, and apparently Olivia Rodrigo has given writing credits to Haley Williams and the other members of Paramore. I think it was one other member of Paramore. Yeah, Joshua Farrow. I just want to come on here and talk about it because it's an interesting development. I think that I'm gonna look at this Billboard article here, but yeah, so the title is Olivia Rodrigo gives writing credit to Paramore on Good For You. Paramore's Haley Williams and Joshua Farrow now have writing credits on Rodrigo's number one smash. Credits for Olivia Rodrigo's Billboard Hot 100 topping hit have been updated to acknowledge an interpolation of Paramore's 2000 single Misery Business. So I did say this, that it could be seen as an interpolation when this song came out, because a lot of people were freaking out about it and saying that it sampled it, which it did not. It did not sample Paramore's Misery Business. And if you knew what sampling was, you would know that that's not the case. A sample is taking an actual recording snippet from a different song, a pre-existing song, and reusing it as your own song, right? So that's what sampling is. An interpolation isn't doing that. Interpolation is using some sort of borrowed melody or something of that sort in your song. And I think that what Good For You does is it does definitely capture the same vibe as Misery Business, and it uses the same chord progression in the chorus. And it's not the most uncommon chord progression in the world, so that could have been totally accidental. But it is a similar vibe, same chord progression. It resulted in people freaking out, saying that Haley Williams is getting ripped off, and Olivia Rodrigo is copying Paramore, which I think that there is a world where it could have been accidental in the way that it sounded exactly like or very similar to Misery Business, but in no way do I think it's ripping it off. In no way do I think it's ripping it off. I think if anything, I would have seen this as in a Paramore-inspired track, because it does have very striking similarities to the energy all over Paramore's Riot from 2007. That album, but yeah, so I don't think it's a ripoff, but I think it isn't the most unreasonable thing that she ended up giving them credit for it, because I think the melody is similar enough. Honestly, personally, like I said, I don't really think it's close enough to be able to give them writing credit, but she also gave Taylor Swift writing credit, Taylor Swift and Jack Antonoff writing credit on a different song on this album that I think even sounds less similar, because it did use an interpolation from New Year's Day, I believe. So it says sources with knowledge of the situation confirmed that Paramore leader Haley Williams and former guitarist Josh Farrow, who co-wrote Misery Business, are now credited. The listing was changed on the website. The respective teams of Rodrigo and Paramore had been in touch about the song prior to its May release, sources said. So they talked about it beforehand, before it was even released. So I think that either the label or Olivia and her team already knew that they were drawing heavy from this song. So it looks like they reached out to them before the song was even released. So that's interesting, unless they're talking about the album. But it seems like before Good For You was even released, they were talking about it, so they knew. In July, Taylor Swift, Jack Antonoff, and St. Vincent were retroactively added as co-writers on Deja Vu. Oh, okay, wait, hold on. Oh, yeah, so that's my mistake. There was an interpolation of New Year's Day on this album as well, but I forgot that Deja Vu also had enough similarities apparently to Cruel Summer, and was inspired by Cruel Summer, which is off Taylor Swift's album Lover. Which I don't really hear enough of that to think that Taylor and Jack and St. Vincent deserve writing credit on that one personally. But, I guess they were just covering their tracks. And a lot of the time artists do credit, I think that Lil Nas X on one of his singles in like 2019 or something, what Panini, on Panini, I think he credited Kurt Cobain, and because it had a similar melody. to a Nirvana song. Oh yeah. So yeah, I don't think that, not that I think that Taylor Swift and Jack Antonoff are going to sue over Deja Vu, they being sounding similar to Cruel Summer, but I think that Olivia and her team probably just wanted to cover their tracks for that one. All right. Finally, Misery Business, released on Paramore's breakthrough 2007 album, peaked at number 26 on Hot 100 with the newly added writing credits. So that's the whole story. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. With the newly added writing credits, Williams and Farrow have earned their first Hot 100 chart toppers as songwriters. So cool. They have a number one hit now. That's dope. They're gonna get a plaque. They're probably gonna get a platinum record for that. I'm sure they have platinums, but that's cool. Yeah, as far as like what I think, and kind of one of the reasons I wanted to address it, was that, listen, while I think it is kind of similar and it sounds like they knew beforehand that it sounded similar, for me, like, I think that a lot of people are getting mad at Olivia Rodrigo for this. And listen, interpolations are nothing new. And to say that it's like, it's the same song, it's not the same song as Misery Business. It's a different song, for sure. It is easily a different song. It is just, I don't know. I just can't see this as a ripoff, personally. I think that the writer's credits are reasonable. I don't think it is like the most unreasonable thing, but to say that this is like I mean, I don't know. In one sense, it isn't like Bittersweet Symphony Rolling Stone situation where, if you don't know that story, the Verve released the song called Bittersweet Symphony, lightly used a sample, which isn't even like the main hook that song is known for, the sample they used from a Rolling Stones song. And later, the Rolling Stones publishers were like, hey, you didn't buy that sample from us, so yeah, we're going to sue you for everything that you're worth. And the Verve hasn't got a single cent from that song. All of it goes to Rolling Stones and the Rolling Stones publishers. And that sample really added pretty much nothing to the song besides like a bed of strings, which they would be making so much money off of that song if they didn't use that sample. So I don't think on one hand, this isn't that situation where it's like, this is a crime that Paramore is getting credits. On the other hand, I don't think that Paramore necessarily deserved to be credited on this album, or on this song rather. But you know, at the end of the day, I think that getting mad at Olivia Rodrigo is silly. I think that getting mad that Paramore is credited, which I don't think that Paramore even like, maybe there was some behind the scenes shit, but it didn't say in this article that Hayley Williams or Paramore sued, or their publishers like sued to get on this song. I think the publisher sued. Okay. So it looks like, according to my chat, it looks like the publisher sued, which makes sense. Because, you know, if you don't know, publishers are people that the kind of their job is to find stuff like this. It's to, you know, sign artists, get as many great songs written as they can, find deals that, you know, make them more money. And also, if they see something that is one of the songs in their catalog, they hear something, they're like, oh, that sounds a lot similar to my song. Kind of their job is to sue people in those situations. So that makes sense. And most of the time, it isn't artists themselves going after it. It's not like a yellow card Juice WRLD scenario, which I think is just like totally ridiculous. But yeah, that's it. That's my thoughts on that. Welcome to the section of the video where I have to say all the YouTuber stuff I have to say. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, check out my Patreon and Twitch pages. Those are the best ways to support me and the channel. And yeah, I love you. Bye.